You know the drill. Leave no trace. Check for tent pegs. Any paper. All seems clear. I can be on my way. 6 o'clock start this morning, trying to beat the heat, but the sun is already beating down, so I'm not sure gain that much. Trying to get to a place called Cuxton this morning, and there's a co-op there that I can see on the map. It's a little bit off route and just before Rochester, but that should be okay. Need to make sure I've got plenty of water for the journey ahead. Then I'm trying to get to a little village called Lenham. That will be where there's a pub where I'm going to spend the night and hopefully get kind of electronic recharge is my main thing, but also be good to sleep in a real bed. Whoops. So yeah, although the sun's up, I said it was beating down, compared to how hot it has been, it's quite bearable at the moment. So hopefully my plan works of getting up an hour earlier. Right, see you later folks. I don't know if you can see that, but it does say North Downs Way, Cuxton, 4.5 miles. That's where I'm trying to get to for the co-op, to get mainly a resupply of water. Let's have a look at the west wing. See the cobweb here? I don't want you to miss the full experience of walking the North Downs Way. My idea of hell on earth, I guess it's a means to an end. And that's the cause of the problem. Having to walk over the River Medway. That's where we've just been. Walker's hell. But now we're closest to paradise. Been a tough old hill to climb up, and then we have a mile marker over here, The North Downs Way. Farnham apparently is 79 miles or 127 kilometres in the opposite direction. Canterbury 34 miles 55k, and Dover 46 miles 74k. That's encouraging. Still a few more days to go. Okay, where are we? You are here, Detling. And we came from sort of around this area. That's where we came over the bridge. So, the place I'm going to for tonight, not actually on here, but we're about here somewhere. Not far to go. I'll be glad to get out of the heat again. I believe it's this way. That looks a nice building here. As you can see, little sort of chalets and rooms. Good morning. I think this is day 5. It's difficult to keep track of time when you're on the trail. So yesterday I did 18 miles and it was tough. Just from the heat. That's why I've started out today at 6 o'clock, just to try and beat some of the heat. Trying to get to the only campsite that's on the North Downs Way. And you can only book, you can't arrive on the spur of the moment, you have to book in advance online. So great thing is stopping at that B&B last night, or the pub. I was able to get that done. And yeah, it was, what can I say, great to sleep in a bed last night, have a pint. Yeah, all the joys that come from civilization. But equally, I'm glad to leave it now and get stuck into this. Just a few more days now. Right, see you later. So as you can see, it's a lot more open today. And looking at the map, I think that's generally going to be the character of today. And it is nice a little bit to get away from the woods and see a bit more daylight. I think someone else wants to join in. Yeah, so being out in the open a bit more feels really good. However, I am worried about that thing in the sky. It's supposed to be 30 degrees today. Plus the one good thing is I'm only trying to do 15 miles to get to that actual campsite. So that's interesting. There's a bit of a finger post there that's saying Viewpoint North Downs Way link. I thought, oh, that might be interesting. But then I kind of wander over there and I can't see any signs or anything, and it's not marked on the map. Bit tempted, but I've learned so many times you go off the official route and you end up lost or struggling to find your way back to where you should be. But if anyone knows anything about that, I'm curious. "13th century pub, dirty habit," referring to what they were wearing rather than their character. So this is where we are now. Yeah, and we're going this way to Charing, and the campsite is just a little bit beyond that. That's where we're heading. And of course the Pilgrims went from Winchester Cathedral to Canterbury Cathedral. We're just doing the North Downs. I'm not sure they did it on their bikes though. The road that we're on now is actually the old Pilgrims Way, and hence we find a pilgrim resting over there, which we'll say hello to in a minute. But here there's some details about the Pilgrims Way. So the death of Thomas Becket starts the age of the pilgrimage to Canterbury, and that's 1170. But one thing I didn't know was Henry VIII abolished pilgrimages in 1538. So yeah, let's go and say hello. Yeah, I think he's sleeping. So we have another map. So you are here and we're trying to get past Charing, probably quite close to there for the campsite. The only campsite on the whole of the North Downs Way. Well, except there's one or two at the start, but they're not really helpful. So yeah, we're trying to get here and then we're splitting off to Canterbury and then to the finish at Dover. And because we're now mainly following the way in which the Pilgrims went, all the time you see Pilgrim's Way. As I was walking along the track there, I saw on the map that there was a war memorial here. I thought, it's a bit remote. It's in memory of the men of Lenham, so the village nearby, First World War and Second World War. So we're tending to walk quite a bit on these tracks now. This is very much the Pilgrim's Way. And you can tell they're quite different from earlier on in the walk when it was very much more the North Downs. That had a lot more chalk. This has got like it's more solid ground. And the tracks, because they're Pilgrim's Ways, they just went straight ahead. So a lot of the time there's not so much twists and turns. And this one's different because it has got the woods on one side. But quite often you are walking alongside fields. It's just more noticeable in this part of the walk. Right, I've got, I think it's about 2 kilometres to get to the farm where the campsite is. So I am on a huge field that is the campsite. There's myself and one other which is just there. Absolutely massive. I think we've got a football pitch each. Should be sufficient. So yeah, 15 miles today, another hot one, and it'll be another hot one tomorrow. What's interesting is how the landscapes change. So very much feel like you're on the Pilgrim's Way, and in fact all the road or the track you're following, you see signs all the time, Pilgrim's Way, and references like the pub we saw, the Dirty Habit, reference to what the monks were wearing, and many other places with similar names. So it feels very much now that I am on my pilgrimage to Canterbury, which I should arrive tomorrow, hopefully doing 15 miles again. Need to get up early again, so I think this morning, yeah, I kind of left at 6 and I probably want to do the same again. Right, I think that's it. I'll see you guys in the morning. Bye for now.